South Korea sees panic selling of used EVs following a Mercedes-Benz fire. Yes, a mass sell-off is underway after a fire involving a Mercedes-Benz EV in Incheon, which destroyed over 100 cars and led to proposals for restricting access to underground car parks. I'm Brian. Welcome to Futuraza. So this story is kind of a weird one, kind of a interesting combination of mass hysteria and media hysteria. So let's just take a look and see what we got here. Yeah, this is great. It's not great. I apologize for that. That was insensitive. South Korea sees panic selling of used EVs. There it is. Mercedes logo on a non-electric vehicle. According to the Korea Herald, over 100 EQE models, including the standard EQE 300, the high performance, and the SUV, were listed on South Korea's leading used car platform. There was a fire in a garage. A lot of cars burned. Similarly, K-Car, the country's second largest used car trading platform, saw a 184% increase in EV listings in the first week of August compared to the previous week. Now, that could be a big sign. Korea may have a little more suspicious market than we do. The surge followed a fire on August 1st involving an EQE 350 Plus in an underground parking garage. Reuters reported that the fire, which took more than 8 hours to extinguish, necessitated the evacuation of some residents to shelters. I mean, there's a fire in the basement. You got to do it, right? Additionally, now here's where the media hysteria comes in. The prices of the listed EVs have significantly decreased. It used to be 60 to 70 million won, and now it's fallen as low as 59 million. 60, 59. It's less than a 2% drop, guys. That's, well, and it's way below the price of a brand new one. Yes, used cars cost less than new ones. I don't know how to tell you, but I mean, it only lost a third of its value for a new car, for a new premium car, for a new Mercedes. That doesn't strike me as that outrageous. That's weird because I was just sure Hyundai's now offering up to a 10% discount on the Ioniq 5 and 5% on all models. Those discounts are interesting. So am I the one overreacting here? Well, I was just sure. I saw it in the news. Mercedes draws ire. South Korea sees panic selling, dealing with fire concerns. So was it in the news? Mercedes-Benz draws ire from EV fire victims in South Korea. Victims, that doesn't sound good. South Korea sees panic selling of used EVs. Hyundai and Kia are dealing with these fire concerns. Mercedes-Benz EV fire victims say company's relief support pledge is absurdly inefficient. Wait, victims? They said it again. People were injured? How did I miss that? The victims say the company's relief support pledge absurdly insufficient. So what we're looking at here is the actual amount. They offered 4.5 billion won, 3.3 million. Now, if you read this article, and I did, no one was injured. There was some complaints of headaches or difficulty breathing, none substantiated, but it's possible, I suppose. It destroyed over 100 cars. Okay, so 3.3 million for 100 cars is 33 grand. Am I right? That seems like a pretty generous offer considering, as is pointed out, most of these people probably have insurance. I mean, don't you have insurance? Isn't fire a thing you insure against? Let your insurance companies sue Mercedes. And for that matter, Mercedes is just offering this as a goodwill gesture. It's not even clear that they were at fault. Certainly not intentionally. It's not like these EQEs have a history of catching on fire. Another person at the meeting pointed out in anger how a single vehicle ended up damaging the livelihoods of 1,581 households. 1,500 households in this apartment complex? That's wild. And they get even angrier and say, look, this sounds like a lot. 4.5 billion sounds like a lot, but when you divide it by every family, it's only 3 million won each, which is, of course, $2,252 per household. Right, but not every household was affected. Not every household was affected, guys. I don't know what you want. This feels, and I hope I'm not being too insensitive, like the outrage, the panic over fans. South Korea's quirky notions about electric fans. Have you ever heard of electric fan death? It's a hot, humid day, like there's a thick blanket of air sitting on top of Seoul. The place has everything except electric fans. They run an appliance shop here for 4 decades, his grandchildren and children. He says he'd be very careful about letting them fall asleep in a room with an electric fan sitting next to them on a desk or the floor. I'd turn on a timer to make sure the winds were blowing very gently. I'd also make sure the fan head is rotating around the room. Every culture has its old wives' tales. American parents tell their children not to swim after eating. And in South Korea, many older people fear that if you fall asleep with an electric fan in the room, you may never wake up. It is a familiar myth. So is that what we're dealing with, is electric fan death, except it's electric cars? Because that's not particularly rational. It's not like electric cars famously go up in flames. We could point out that. We could point out here that we see a myth busting the world. The EVs are not more likely to catch fire. Last summer at a car park in Luton Airport, went up an inferno. Now, an EV fire is bad news. It burns hot and is hard to extinguish. Indeed, it can ignite again after several days, but they are very rare. Electric car fires, super rare. So I'm not even sure what to make of this. It feels like a bit of panic. Teslas are especially not likely to burn. You'll notice that in the earlier article, they didn't say anything about other manufacturers' cars going down in value dramatically. They didn't say anything about Teslas, maybe because Teslas famously do not have fire issues. They can burn. Anything can burn. Give me enough heat, I'll burn rock for you. But that doesn't mean they are prone to failure, especially in a flamey way. It's ridiculous. It's hysterical. And for that matter, and that's kind of it. There's no other news about fires, although I should mention that a Tesla semi-truck did catch fire on I-80, and it really didn't want to go out. It appears to have hit a tree and then burned, or burned and then hit a tree. And of course, you have to have some hysteria. I've heard it takes as much as 40,000 gallons. Don't quote this guy. He's not a bright man. It is unknown what the semi was hauling. Well, here's a picture. That's just the tractor. There is no trailer. At most, the only thing it was hauling was ass, which is appropriate considering the quality of this article. Similarly, I believe that stands for actually smart summon. This article is pure actually smart summon. It's not good. Fires involving electric vehicles have been proven problematic for first responders. This one took 6,000 gallons of water because there are still some fire departments that don't know how easy it is to put them out if you're using the correct tools. There was a fire on Interstate 405 near Seattle in Tukwila years ago where a tanker hauling jet fuel was involved in an accident, caught on fire. Fire department went out. They could not extinguish it. They couldn't do it. Hours they fought it. And then someone said, hey, there's an airport like right there. Maybe we should call them. They brought a truck out, squirted it. 3 minutes later, it's out because they had the right tools for the job. All it takes is the right tools. So good work, Cecilio Padilla, digital producer, CBS, Sacramento. Guys, what did I miss? What did I misunderstand? How afraid are you of electric car fires? How afraid are you of electric fan death? Sudden, otherwise Korean, who knows? You just tell me, because the whole thing seems a little out of balance to me. And when you combine general human behavior, I was going to say human stupidity, but I didn't want you to think I meant you. We're all stupid in some ways and very smart in others. But human nature is a fickle beast, and we are prone to suspicion. And I'm very suspicious of you guys, and I welcome your suspicions about me. It's fine. Doesn't bother me. What did I miss? What did I misunderstand? I'll leave it in the comments below, and stay tuned, stay juicy, and I cannot wait to hear from you clever robots on the next one.